What an intriguing scenario. Let's explore this separate story. Smaug, the majestic dragon from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, slowly opens his eyes, revealing piercing yellow orbs that seem to gleam with a fierce inner light. He stretches his colossal wings, casting a shadow over the barren landscape. As he rises to his feet, the earth trembles beneath him. Smaug's scales glint in the sunlight, shimmering like polished gold and black diamonds. He surveys his surroundings, his gaze sweeping across the desolate expanse. But, as you mentioned, Smaug has no purpose, no goal, no drive. He is a force of nature, untethered and unmoored. He begins to wander, his massive strides devouring distance, leaving behind a trail of scorched earth and scattered rocks. As he moves, the wind stirs, carrying the whispers of ancient secrets and forgotten lore. Smaug's ears perk up, and he listens intently, as if trying to recall a long-forgotten melody. Despite his aimless wandering, Smaug exudes an aura of power, of unbridled potential. His very presence seems to command attention, to demand reverence. And yet, as the sun dips below the horizon, casting the landscape in a warm orange glow, Smaug's thoughts turn inward. He wonders, perhaps, what it means to be a creature of legend, a monster without a quest, a dragon without a horde. The stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, and Smaug's eyes gleam with a soft, melancholic light. He continues his aimless wandering, lost in thought, as the world around him slips into darkness. As Smaug takes to the skies, his wings beat powerful and slow, creating whirlwinds that stir the dust and rocks beneath him. He soars effortlessly, his scales glinting like stars in the sunlight. Unencumbered by any limitations, Smaug flies across the entire landscape, leaving a trail of turbulent air in his wake. He glides over towering mountain ranges, their peaks reaching up to him like giant's fangs. He swoops down into verdant valleys, where rivers flow like lifeblood through the earth. Smaug's shadow dances across the landscape, a dark reflection of his majestic form. As he flies, the wind rushes past him, a deafening roar that fills his ears. Smaug's eyes gleam with a fierce joy, unbridled and free. He is a force of nature, unstoppable and wild. And yet, despite the thrill of flight, Smaug's aimlessness persists. He has no destination, no purpose, no goal. He flies for the sake of flying, lost in the sheer exhilaration of movement. The landscape unfolds beneath him like a tapestry, ever-changing and eternal. Smaug's spirit soars, unencumbered by the burdens of the world. He is free, a dragon unchained, flying into the unknown. As the sun begins to set, casting a warm orange glow over the landscape, Smaug continues to fly, his wings beating steadily as he soars through the sky. He flies over vast deserts, where the sand dunes stretch out like golden seas. He glides over sprawling forests, where the trees reach up to him like emerald spears. Despite the breathtaking views, Smaug's expression remains neutral, his eyes gleaming with a distant, unfocused light. He flies without purpose, without direction, without any apparent goal. As the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, Smaug's flight becomes even more aimless, his path weaving and looping through the darkness. He flies over sparkling lakes, where the water reflects the starlight like a mirror. He soars over snow-capped mountains, where the peaks reach up to him like frozen giants. And yet, despite the ever-changing landscape, Smaug's flight remains constant, a steady beat of wings that echoes through the night. He is a force of nature, unmoored and untethered, flying solely for the sake of flight. As the hours pass, Smaug's flight becomes a meditation, a state of being that transcends purpose or direction. He is a dragon in motion, a creature of pure energy and movement, unencumbered by the burdens of the world. As Smaug continues his aimless flight, his demeanor begins to shift. He starts to exude an aura of arrogance, his wings beating with a newfound swagger. As he soars through the skies, Smaug gazes down at the landscape below with a haughty disdain. He views the tiny creatures scurrying about as insignificant, beneath his notice. Who needs purpose or direction when you're as magnificent as I? Smaug seems to say, his voice echoing in his own mind. I am Smaug, the greatest dragon to ever exist. My power is unmatched, my wisdom unparalleled. As he flies over a bustling city, Smaug's arrogance grows. He gazes down at the towering skyscrapers and laughs, a mighty roar that shakes the windows. Your puny human creations are but a mere trifle to me, Smaug sneers. I could reduce your city to ashes with a single blast of my fire. And yet, despite his arrogance, Smaug's aimlessness persists. He continues to fly without purpose, his path weaving and looping through the skies. It's as if Smaug's arrogance has become a substitute for direction, a way to distract himself from the emptiness within. But deep down, the dragon knows that his haughty demeanor is just a facade, a mask to hide his own uncertainty. As Smaug continues to walk aimlessly on the ground, he suddenly lets out a mighty roar and unleashes his fiery breath upon SCP-682, the unstoppable reptilian doomsday. The flames engulf the lizard's scaly body, but to Smaug's surprise, SCP-682 doesn't flinch. Instead, the lizard's eyes narrow, and it lets out a low, menacing growl. SCP-682's scaly body begins to regenerate at an alarming rate, and its skin develops a fireproof defense, rendering Smaug's flames ineffective. Smaug, taken aback by SCP-682's resilience, takes a step back, his arrogance momentarily wounded. But he quickly recovers, puffing out his chest and declaring, "I am Smaug, the greatest dragon to ever exist. My flames will reduce you to ashes, puny lizard." SCP-682, now fully regenerated, takes a step closer to Smaug, its eyes blazing with aggression. "You think your flames can hurt me, dragon?" SCP-682 hisses. "I am the unstoppable reptilian doomsday. I will not be defeated by your petty fire-breathing tricks." Smaug sneers, his voice dripping with disdain. "We'll see about that, lizard. Prepare to face the full fury of Smaug's flames." The two titans face off, their eyes locked in a fierce stare down. The air is electric with tension as they prepare to clash in a battle for the ages. As the battle rages on, Smaug uses his immense strength and size to try and overpower SCP-682. He wraps his claws around the lizard's body, attempting to crush it with his vice-like grip. But SCP-682 refuses to be defeated so easily. With a sudden burst of energy, the lizard thrashes its tail, sending Smaug crashing to the ground. The two titans roll and tumble, their massive bodies crashing into each other as they wrestle for dominance. Smaug's claws scrape against SCP-682's scaly hide, but the lizard's regenerative abilities allow it to heal from the wounds almost instantly. SCP-682 retaliates by biting down on Smaug's neck, its jaws closing with a bone-crushing force. Smaug roars in pain and anger, his wings flailing wildly as he tries to shake off the lizard's grip. But SCP-682 holds tight, its teeth sunk deep into Smaug's flesh. The two combatants continue to crash and roll around, their struggle sending shockwaves through the ground. The earth trembles beneath their feet as they exchange blows, neither able to gain the upper hand. As the battle rages on, it becomes clear that Smaug has underestimated the unstoppable reptilian doomsday. SCP-682 is a force to be reckoned with, and it will take all of Smaug's strength and cunning to emerge victorious. As the battle rages on, Smaug momentarily takes to the skies, his wings beating powerful as he attempts to gain the upper hand. But SCP-682 is quick to counter, using its long, whip-like tail to slap Smaug out of the air. The dragon crashes to the ground, sliding across the dusty terrain as SCP-682 closes in. The two reptilian titans continue to thrash each other, their claws and teeth clashing in a flurry of motion. As the fight intensifies, SCP-682 begins to gain the upper hand. It uses its forelimbs to grab Smaug's throat, choking the dragon as it attempts to speak. "I am fire, and I am death," Smaug gasps, his voice strained and choked. SCP-682 glares at Smaug, its eyes blazing with anger. "Listen to me, here, Smaug," it hisses. "I have no mood to listen to your arrogance and catchphrases again. Say that again, and I will truly tear you apart." Just as it seems like SCP-682 is about to deliver the final blow, a figure appears on the horizon. It's Sun Wukong, the legendary Monkey King and SCP-682's owner. Sun Wukong rushes forward, his staff at the ready. Hey, no need for that, old friend," he says, placing a hand on SCP-682's shoulder. "Spare the dragon, and let's talk this out." SCP-682 hesitates, its grip on Smaug's throat relaxing slightly. Sun Wukong takes advantage of the momentary distraction to intervene, using his staff to separate the two combatants. "Come on, both of you," Sun Wukong says, his voice firm but friendly. "Let's follow me, and we'll sort this out." Smaug and SCP-682 exchange a wary glance, but eventually, they nod in agreement. The three of them set off, following Sun Wukong as he leads them towards a mysterious destination. Here are some additional dialogues. SCP-682, "You think your fire can hurt me, dragon? I have regenerated from wounds that would be mortal for any other creature." Smaug, "We'll see about that, lizard. My flames have reduced cities to ashes. You are no exception." SCP-682, "I am not just any lizard, Smaug. I am the unstoppable reptilian doomsday. And you are just a relic of a bygone era. Smaug, you dare to mock me? I am Smaug the Magnificent, the greatest dragon to ever exist. My name is whispered in terror by the inhabitants of Middle-earth." SCP-682, "I am not impressed, Smaug. Your fame is but a fleeting moment in the annals of time. I am eternal, a force of nature that cannot be stopped. I am fire, and I am death, Smaug." Here's a continuation of the dialogue. SCP-682, "Choking Smaug, you should have stayed out of my way, dragon. Now, you'll make a fine addition to my collection of defeated foes." Smaug, gasping for air, "I am fire, and I am death." SCP-682, sneering, "Not today, you're not. Sun Wukong, appearing on the scene. Hey, no need for that, old friend. Spare the dragon. SCP-682, hesitating, then releasing Smaug. Fine. But only because you asked, Sun Wukong. Smaug, gasping for air, rubbing his throat. Thank you. Sun Wukong. I owe you one. Sun Wukong, smiling. No need to thank me, Smaug. Just come with us and let's talk things through. SCP-682, grumbling. I still don't see why we're sparing him. He's just an arrogant dragon. Sun Wukong, laughing. Ah, come on, SCP-682. Even you have to admit, Smaug's got spirit. And who knows, maybe we can learn something from each other. Here's a continuation. Sun Wukong, come on, both of you. Let's put our differences aside for now and follow me. I have a feeling that we can learn from each other. Smaug, I'm not sure I'm interested in following you, Sun Wukong. I am a dragon, after all. I don't take orders from anyone. SCP-682, I'm not going anywhere with you, Sun Wukong. I'm a force of nature, unstoppable and unyielding. Sun Wukong, ah, come on, guys. Don't be so stubborn. I'm not asking you to follow me blindly. I'm asking you to trust me, just for a little while. Who knows, you might just learn something new. Smaug and SCP-682 exchange a skeptical glance, but eventually they nod in agreement. Smaug, fine. I'll follow you, Sun Wukong. But don't think for a moment that I'm doing this out of weakness. SCP-682, I'll follow you too, Sun Wukong. But if you try any tricks, I'll make sure you regret it. Sun Wukong, ha. I wouldn't have it any other way, my friends. Now, let's get moving. We've got a long journey ahead of us. Here's a continuation. As the three of them journey on, the landscape around them begins to shift and change. The air grows thick with an otherworldly energy, and the sky takes on a strange, pulsating hue. Sun Wukong leads the way, his staff in hand, as SCP-682 and Smaug follow closely behind. Despite their initial reservations, they seem to be growing more comfortable with each other's presence. As they walk, the portal comes into view in the distance. It's a swirling vortex of colors, pulsing with an energy that seems to be drawing them in. We're not there yet, Sun Wukong calls out over his shoulder. But we're getting close. Stay sharp, both of you. SCP-682 grunts in response, its eyes fixed intently on the portal. Smaug, meanwhile, stretches his wings, giving a lazy flap as he gazes out at the portal. I can feel its power, Smaug says, his voice low and rumbling. It's calling to me. Sun Wukong glances back at Smaug, a hint of concern in his eyes. Remember, Smaug, we're not here to answer the portal's call. We're here to explore, and maybe learn a thing or two. Smaug nods, though his eyes remain fixed on the portal. SCP-682, meanwhile, continues to stare at the portal with an unblinking gaze. As they draw closer, the energy emanating from the portal grows stronger. The air begins to distort and ripple, and the sky takes on a strange, electric hue. They're still far away, but they're getting closer. And as they approach the portal, they can't help but feel that they're being drawn into something much bigger than themselves. As the trio emerges from the portal, they find themselves standing inside a large hangar within a functional airport. The hangar is dimly lit, with only a few flickering fluorescent lights illuminating the space. SCP-682 turns to Smaug, its voice low and menacing. This is where you're supposed to stay, dragon. You're not going anywhere else. Smaug's eyes narrow, its gaze flashing with anger. And who are you to tell me what to do, lizard? It growls. SCP-682's voice rises, its loudness echoing off the hangar walls. Do nothing at all. You will obey me, dragon. Sun Wukong steps forward, his eyes shining with a warm, calming light. Hey, no need for that, SCP-682. Smaug's not going to cause any trouble. As Sun Wukong speaks, Vagar, the massive dragon from the House of the Dragon, emerges from the shadows, its eyes gleaming with curiosity. It begins to explore the hangar, its claws clicking on the concrete floor. Smaug's gaze follows Vagar, its expression softening slightly. Ah, another dragon. Perhaps this place won't be so dull after all. Sun Wukong smiles, his eyes twinkling with amusement. I think you'll find that this airport has its own unique charm, Smaug. And with Vagar here, you'll have some company. As the group stands there, the sound of planes taking off and landing in the distance fills the air, a reminder that they are in a place of constant motion and activity. But for now, they seem content to simply be surrounded by the quiet, dimly lit hangar. SCP-682's voice returns to its normal, calm tone as it speaks to Smaug. This is your home, Smaug. This is the place where you can stay, where you can rest, and where you can sleep. You are safe here. Smaug's gaze lingers on SCP-682, its expression unreadable. But as it looks around the hangar, its eyes seem to soften, and it nods its great head. Very well, Lizard, Smaug says. I will stay here. But do not think that this means I am subservient to you. I am Smaug, the greatest dragon to ever exist. I will do as I please, and I will not be bound by your rules or your whims. SCP-682 regards Smaug calmly, its expression unchanging. I do not ask for your subservience, Smaug. I only ask that you respect this place, and those who dwell here. You are free to come and go as you please, but while you are here, I ask that you behave peacefully. Vagar, who has been watching the exchange, nods its great head in agreement. Sun Wukong smiles, his eyes twinkling with amusement. I think we can all get along, don't you? He says. As the trio enters the hangar and closes the door behind them, they begin to settle down on the floor for some well-deserved rest. Smaug, exhausted from its journey, lies down beside Vagar, its massive body stretching out across the concrete floor. Ah, finally, Smaug says, its voice low and rumbling. A place to rest. I am Smaug, the greatest dragon to ever exist, and even I need my beauty sleep. Vagar, lying beside Smaug, stirs and opens one eye. You're certainly confident, Smaug, she says, her voice smooth and melodious. But I think you'll find that even the greatest dragons need a little humility now and then. Smaug chuckles, its chest rising and falling with the motion. Humility. Ha. I am Smaug, the dragon of Erebor. I have no need for humility. But I do appreciate your concern, Vagar. You are refreshing. Vagar smiles, her eyes glinting with amusement. I'm glad you think so, Smaug. And I must say, I'm intrigued by your unique personality. Perhaps, one day, I'll even get used to your arrogance. Smaug laughs, its voice echoing off the hangar walls. I look forward to it, Vagar. Now, let us rest. We have a long journey ahead of us, and I, for one, am not ready to face it just yet. As the two dragons settle in for some much-needed rest, Sun Wukong and SCP-682 watch over them, their eyes gleaming with a soft, protective light. The hangar falls silent, the only sound the soft rustling of the dragon's scales as they sleep. SCP-682's voice breaks the silence, its tone calm and curious. Smaug, are you enjoying your new home? You seem to be getting along well with Vagar. Smaug stirs, its eyes opening lazily. Ah, yes. This place is tolerable. And Vagar is amusing. But I am Smaug, the greatest dragon to ever exist. I do not enjoy anything as mundane as a home. Vagar chuckles, her voice low and throaty. Oh, Smaug. You're so predictable. But I think you'll find that this place has its own unique charm. And I'm happy to share it with you. Smaug's expression softens slightly, its gaze lingering on Vagar. Perhaps, Vagar. Perhaps. Just as it seems like the conversation is going to continue, Sun Wukong interrupts, his voice firm but gentle. That's enough, everyone. It's time for bed. We've got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. With a flick of his wrist, Sun Wukong switches off the lights, plunging the hangar into darkness. The group falls silent, their breathing slow and steady as they drift off to sleep. As the darkness deepens, the only sound is the soft rustling of scales and the gentle hum of the hangar's machinery. The story fades to black, the dragons and their companions lost in the depths of sleep. Here's the revised ending. SCP-682's voice breaks the silence, its tone calm and curious. Smaug, are you enjoying your new home? You seem to be getting along well with Vagar. Smaug stirs, its eyes opening lazily. Ah, yes. This place is tolerable. And Vagar is amusing. But I am Smaug, the greatest dragon to ever exist. I do not enjoy anything as mundane as a home. Vagar chuckles, her voice low and throaty. Oh, Smaug. You're so predictable. But I think you'll find that this place has its own unique charm. And I'm happy to share it with you. Smaug's expression softens slightly, its gaze lingering on Vagar. Perhaps, Vagar. Perhaps. Just as it seems like the conversation is going to continue, Sun Wukong interrupts, his voice firm but gentle. All right, that's enough. With a flick of his wrist, Sun Wukong switches off the lights, plunging the hangar into darkness. The group falls silent, their breathing slow and steady as they drift off to sleep. As the darkness deepens, the only sound is the soft rustling of scales and the gentle hum of the hangar's machinery. The story fades to black, the dragons and their companions lost in the depths of sleep. As the darkness deepens, the hangar falls silent, except for the soft sounds of the dragon's slow breathing. But amidst the stillness, a subtle movement catches the eye. Vagar and Smaug, still in their sleeping state, slowly wrap their winged forelimbs around each other. Their claws intertwine, holding each other close as they rest. In the darkness, their slow, quiet dialogues begin to unfold, their voices barely audible, yet filled with a deep, unspoken understanding. Vagar whispers, Smaug, my scales feel warm. Smaug softly, Vagar, your wings feel strong. Vagar quietly, I like your fire. Smaug. Smaug slowly, I like your kindness. Vagar. Their words trail off, lost in the darkness, as they drift deeper into sleep. Yet, even in their slumber, their bond grows stronger, forged by the quiet, intimate moments they share. The scene fades to black, leaving the dragons to their peaceful slumber, wrapped in each other's wings, their hearts beating as one.